Hey, my friends, I have a different type of content for you today. I am talking to you if you have a massage gun at home and you are not totally sure how to utilize it. I would like to walk you through the ways that I prefer to work the shoulder, the upper trap, which is what I know a lot of you guys at home struggle with. And then we're going to go up a little bit into the neck. And then we'll do the pec and then come down the arm because this whole mechanism, when you're typing, all works together as one, okay? And it doesn't have to be you're typing, you're scrolling, anytime your elbows are bent and they're hunched at your sides, this system can happen. So let's take it from the top all the way out to the bottom. And before we start, I just want to say that massage guns are great, thumpers are great, but they are superficial. So don't expect like big dramatic results. They will make you feel better temporarily, and they're awesome for that. They're awesome for alleviating temporary tension, temporary pains and aches. Your foam roller and your balls are for you to get on a deeper level with those layers of tension. But the massage thumpers are really handy for getting through the superficial tension. They almost, because of the vibrational quality of them, they almost trick your brain into not being able to fight back against the pressure. Okay, but the pressure is not very deep, so it's pretty superficial, nonetheless effective. Okay, so this is my massage thumper. It's a Hypervolt Go. And I'm going to put it on the lowest setting because that's always the setting that you should start with. So contrary to what you might think, you're not going to use the opposite hand to go across. You're going to use the same side hand. I'm going to work on my left shoulder here. So find the curvature, and it's really handy to do this in a mirror your first couple times, where the neck and the shoulder come together and go right in there. I'm not sure how this is affecting the sound in my microphone. It's definitely going to be affecting my voice. So turning your head to the side will create a stretch for these tissues. And if that feels like too much, try to keep your head neutral. You can also shrug the shoulder a little or tilt the head into the massage thumper a little so that there's not so much of a stretch and a pull on the tissues. You're creating more slack that way. Okay, so if you feel confident about this, you can draw your elbow in front of you and take the thumper down just like about an inch or two down your back in between the left shoulder blade and spine. From the back view, looks like that. It's not super far, but this is still the bulk of your upper trap. Okay, and then you're going to start to move through the wrist and take it side to side. This movement can be quick, can be slow. It's really up to you. What you don't ever want to do, contrary to what you can do on a roller or a ball, is get on bone with this massage thumper. So as you come outward, like you're moving your wrist, right? You're not moving your elbow. Elbow's dropped, moving through the wrist. As you come down, there's the acromion process right here, that bony top part of your shoulder. Avoid that. Go right before it. You come down the trap and then back up again. And I'm starting to get a little itchy back here because that's nerve ending activity. That's nervous system activity. And it means that we're making a change in the way the nerves are perceiving this area, communicating with the brain in this area. We're making a change in the way the blood is flowing. Okay, so I'm going to give that a little bit of a break. Whew. I'm going to give it a little scratch because that's what I need. So any kind of redness is also that same sort of nervous system activity. The blood is flowing differently there. The nerves are perceiving this area differently. Okay, so now we're going to come to the pec. You've got this shoulder blade that comes out here and attaches onto, again, that acromion process is what that is. And then there's sort of the glenohumeral joint head, and it's sort of this curved thing. It's sort of like the shape of my tank top. So same arm, going to come into the top corner, and you're really going to pin like 1, 2, 3 spots. So let's go into that top inner corner and just come into that and see what that feels like. You are not pushing into the tissues. Again, this is a superficial experience on sort of the first few layers, and this is where it gets really fun in my voice. So we're going to create a fan, 3 blades for the fan, out to the sternum, down a little bit further to the chest, and then down toward the areola. Okay, so come across the collarbone, across the bottom of the collarbone, into the sternum. Once you get on bone, that's what's going to happen is that the thumper is going to jump around a little bit more. That's when you know you've gotten a little bit too far into your bone. Excuse me. This will also break up some fluids in the lungs and in the chest. Take it back, bring it down to that second point, and take it down into the pec. Your areola is here. You're not going to come across that. You're just coming right above it. And then come down to that final spot and straight down. So it's just a fan, 3 blades of the fan. Down, diagonal, and across. And spend as much time as you need in any one of those spots. Maybe up to a minute or 2. Okay, after the pec, we're switching our hands. And then we're going to drop our arms straight and just let it hang. We've got 3 heads of the deltoid, anterior, medial, posterior. Just let your arm hang and come to the anterior head. Shoulder bones here, don't go on top of it, go right below it. All right? And then just start to trace down through your bicep, almost to the pit of your elbow, but not quite. And back up again. And then as you're moving to the medial delt, instead of lifting your elbow and wrapping around, you're going to internally rotate the arm so that it's right there for you. Medial head of the delt, down through the upper arm, toward the elbow joint. And any of you struggling with carpal tunnel or anything like that, this forearm issues, wrist issues, this connection between the bicep and the forearm is going to feel sensational. Back up again, posterior deltoid, just a little farther back into now sort of the head of the tricep. Okay, and avoid the elbow. And then I would definitely take this all the way down into the forearm just to complete that line. So the meat here, where the fold happens, that's where you want to focus on. You can make some generous circles there. Your elbow can be resting on a tabletop. It can be resting on a pillow. It can just be down hanging by your side if you don't mind holding it there. But for showing you purposes, I'm going to take it up and work a little harder in my shoulder to let you get this visual. Okay? Down through the forearm. As you go further toward the wrist, you're going to get a little bangier. See that? Anytime you're on bone, it just gets a little bit like, it gets a little knockier. I don't know how to say that. It's like that. Instead of connecting with the tissue, it's just banging against the bone. And that's a really stark contrast. You'll be able to feel that. So stay where you are connecting with the tissue. Work through the meat of your forearm. And the other day, I flipped this around and did the underside. Super tender, but very, very helpful with alleviating thumb and wrist and just general forearm tension. When you're done, give it a break before doing the other side. Okay, I'm itchy. You might feel a little bit like that, a little tingly. Give it a shake, maybe some mobilization, couple of stretches, and then wait a few minutes before using this arm to do the other side. I hope this was helpful. And if you already knew all of these things about how to use your massage thumper, then at the very least, we did them together today. Okay. Thank you guys. Mwah! I'll see you next week.